You've prepared the supplies, you've studied the guides, and you're still discovering those little surprises in the hallway or on your best carpet. You're beginning to think the myths are real. Cavaliers are just too sensitive, or they're impossible to potty train. But here is the reality. Your Cavalier isn't impossible to train. The issue isn't their intelligence, it's almost always the technique. Potty training a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel isn't just a generic version of training any other dog. It's a distinct process with its own set of principles. Their small size, famously sensitive temperament, and specific needs require a special strategy. If your house training is failing, it's very likely because you're making one of these frequent and correctable errors. One of the biggest challenges in potty training a Cavalier is their physical biology. It's not about willful misbehavior, it's about their physical makeup. A Cavalier puppy's bladder is quite small. It simply doesn't have the capacity to hold a large volume of liquid for extended periods. This means they have a physical requirement to urinate much more frequently than large breed puppies. Cavaliers also have a high-speed metabolism. Small dogs, particularly puppies, have a very quick metabolism. They digest food and process water rapidly, which means the waste byproduct is generated much more quickly. What this means for you: you cannot expect a Cavalier puppy to hold it for hours. A young Cavalier puppy might need a bathroom opportunity every 30 to 60 minutes while they are active, and almost certainly right after waking, eating, or a round of play. This is the most exasperating aspect of training and requires you to be very patient. Regardless of your best attempts, mishaps are an unavoidable component of the training journey, especially at the start. It is essential to realize that potty training accidents rarely happen out of spite. They are typically a failure in communication or a product of developmental, environmental, or health-related issues. Here are some of the primary causes. An immature puppy, just like a human toddler, lacks complete control over their bladder and bowel functions. A common guideline is that a puppy can hold it for roughly 1 hour for every month of age. Demanding more than this is arranging for them to fail. The most direct cause for an accident is that the dog is not yet completely trained. They have not fully solidified the concept that potty only happens outside. This connection requires time and many hundreds of correct repetitions to become an ingrained habit. If your house-trained Cavalier abruptly starts having accidents inside, or if a puppy is still having an unusual number of incidents despite consistent training, it is vital to first exclude a medical reason. Several medical problems can be the source of sudden house soiling. Urinary problems, such as UTIs, bladder stones, or kidney disease, can create a frequent and urgent need to urinate. Furthermore, gastrointestinal distress from sickness, parasites, or food issues can result in diarrhea, making it physically impossible for a dog to avoid an accident. If you see any of this, a visit to your veterinarian is non-negotiable. Regardless of your diligence, potty mishaps are unavoidable, especially early on. They are a standard part of puppyhood for almost all dogs. You must be psychologically ready and possess a great deal of patience to manage them. Reacting to potty accidents improperly is a terrible error, especially with a famously sensitive breed like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Your response will either reinforce the training or instill fear and reverse your progress significantly. If you find your puppy in the middle of an accident, the proper response is to startle them with a brief, sharp sound, like a quick clap or a firm "uh-uh," and instantly escort them to their designated potty area. The absolute worst transgression is to punish the puppy. It is vital to recognize that your Cavalier is not being rebellious. They are in the process of learning. They were unable to hold it, or, most likely, you missed their cues. The puppy should never be punished, shouted at, or have its nose pushed into the mess. This is a huge error. It causes them to become fearful of going to the bathroom in your presence, leading them to hide when they need to go, which makes training exponentially more difficult. View each mishap as a chance to learn and modify your house training strategy. Analyze why it happened. Was the gap between breaks too wide? Did you fail to see their signals? Or did it happen after an activity like eating or playing? To avoid repeat incidents, decrease the time between potty trips and increase your observation of your dog's cues. By managing accidents with a calm interruption and thorough cleaning, and then using them as a teachable moment to adjust your system, you will effectively lead your intelligent Cavalier to potty training success while enhancing your bond. It is completely essential to clean accidents thoroughly. However, many owners get this wrong. When a puppy relieves themselves in one spot, they leave a scent marker and are instinctively drawn back to it. The error is relying on regular household cleaners. They are not sufficient. You are required to use an enzymatic cleaner specifically formulated to break down and destroy the proteins in urine, completely removing the odor. Without this, your puppy's powerful sense of smell will relocate the old spot and see it as an appropriate bathroom. Even if you cannot detect it, your puppy definitely can. Neglecting to use the correct cleaner all but guarantees repeat incidents. One of the most frequent mistakes is failing to begin potty training the moment your new Cavalier puppy enters your home. The crucial learning period is between 8 and 12 weeks of age. A young puppy's mind is highly receptive, and they form habits almost immediately. If you postpone training, you are making a significant mistake. You are permitting your puppy to establish undesirable toilet habits, like using your dining room rug, that will be vastly harder to undo later. However, there is also the error of beginning too early. Starting formal training before the 8-week mark is ineffective. They simply do not have the necessary physical maturity or cognitive ability for dependable training. The absolute first step in house training is selecting a single bathroom location, yet this is often overlooked. This must be implemented from day one. Failing to set up a specific bathroom spot creates confusion for your puppy, which results in accidents throughout your house. The error isn't just neglecting to choose a spot, it's selecting an impractical one. Accessibility and convenience are vital. If you pick a location that you cannot reach easily and fast, you will not get there in time. Ensure the spot is always accessible, regardless of weather or season. Surface errors. The type of surface has a big influence. Grass is frequently the most instinctual and appealing surface. As an alternative, materials such as mulch or wood chips can be effective. Another common option, particularly for building a dedicated dog run, is pea gravel. This surface offers excellent drainage and is relatively easy to clean with a scooper and a hose. For those with balconies or small yards, artificial turf presents a modern solution. High-quality pet turf is designed with excellent drainage systems and is simple to sanitize. Another mistake is disregarding shelter and privacy. If the area is exposed to bad weather or too near high traffic zones, like a busy street or noisy neighbor's yard, your Cavalier will be too distracted. A crucial mistake is changing the spot seasonally. The spot must be used consistently all year. Young puppies, like human infants, have zero natural understanding of toilet hygiene. As their guardian, it is your responsibility to teach them that one single location is for elimination, while the entire house is off-limits. Because your puppy is a new arrival, establishing these rules from the beginning is far easier, as they will accept them as a normal part of their new life. Be consistent and do not change the chosen location. After you have selected the location, you must communicate that this spot is the toilet. The most significant error here is neglecting to reward your puppy the very second they finish eliminating in the correct area. If you fail to use an excited, happy voice like, "Yes, good potty," and instantly provide a high-value snack, you are squandering the most powerful tool you have. Instant positive reinforcement builds the direct mental link. Bathroom here is equal to tasty morsel and cheerful praise. Timing is non-negotiable. The reward must be given within 1 to 2 seconds. If you err by waiting until you've returned inside, they will associate the reward with the act of coming indoors, not with what they did outside. Boring rewards don't work. A common mistake is relying on low-value reinforcement. Tossing them a piece of their standard kibble is not motivating. It will not offer enough incentive to convince them to hold it and wait for the correct spot when they feel the urge. Boring rewards don't work. A common mistake is relying on low-value reinforcement. Tossing them a piece of their standard kibble is not motivating. It will not offer enough incentive to convince them to hold it and wait for the correct spot when they feel the urge. Failing to establish a rigid and predictable routine is the absolute quickest method to sabotage your potty training. Cavaliers thrive on routine and are sensitive to chaos. Inconsistency creates accidents and stress. A regular schedule helps regulate their small digestive system. If their elimination needs are not predictable, it's because your routine is inconsistent. Your daily schedule must center around 5 key non-negotiable moments. Missing these is a mistake. Immediately upon waking, the very first thing you must do when your puppy gets up is take them straight to their spot. Shortly after every meal, small puppies typically need to defecate within 10 to 30 minutes of eating. Do not miss this opportunity. After every play or training session, high-energy activity and mental stimulation activate their bladder. Neglecting to end a play session with a potty opportunity is inviting an accident. Before being left alone, it is an error to crate your puppy without giving them a chance to go potty first. This sets them up to fail. Right before bedtime, this is the final opportunity to empty their system. Forgetting this all but guarantees a nighttime accident. It is crucial to stay consistent with this routine. The single biggest failure is when not everyone in the home follows the schedule. If one family member lets the puppy roam free after eating, it causes a major setback. As an incredibly intelligent and expressive breed, a Cavalier will often signal their need to go potty with their body, with sounds, or both. These cues are direct notifications that they must go out, and you must take them to their spot right away. Learning to interpret your individual puppy's cues is one of the most vital parts of successful house training. As they get older and gain more control, their signals may become less obvious, so it is crucial to stay watchful. Watch for these signs. If you see them and don't act immediately, an accident is imminent. Intense sniffing. If your puppy suddenly puts their nose to the ground and starts sniffing intently, they are searching for a place to go. Circling. This classic signal is frequently missed until it is too late. Restlessness and pacing. A sudden change from a calm state to pacing, often by the door, is a very clear sign. Sudden halts in play. If they abruptly stop playing and seem distracted, their focus has shifted to their body's needs. Sneaking off. Attempting to vanish behind a chair or into another room is one of the most dependable signs an accident is imminent. Making eye contact and vocalizing. A smart Cavalier will try to capture your attention with a whine or a quiet bark. Don't mistake a potty whine for a play bark. Nudging or pawing at you. This is a direct message. Hey, I need you. Ignoring it is a mistake. Squatting or posturing. This is the last, most urgent cue. If you witness this, you have failed to act fast enough. Bell training is an exceptionally clear and effective way to teach a puppy to signal their need to go outside. It is the process of teaching your puppy to ring a bell to inform you they need to visit their bathroom spot. To begin, you will require a set of bells. Popular options include a strap of sleigh bells that can be hung from a doorknob or a small freestanding push bell set on the floor near the door. For proper placement, hang the potty bells from the handle of the exit you use most frequently for your dog's bathroom breaks. If using a floor bell, set it right beside that same door. It is essential to ensure the bell is at a height your Cavalier can comfortably reach with their nose or paw. The following step is to create a consistent association. Every single time you take your dog out to potty, you must initiate the action yourself. Ring the bell and at the same time say a consistent verbal command such as potty or outside. Right after this signal, open the door and take your Cavalier out. This repetition is key to helping your dog connect the bell sound with the action of going outside. It is also vital to teach the puppy that the bell is strictly for potty needs, not for asking to go out and play. Indoor potty pads, also known as training pads or wee-wee pads, are a common consideration for owners, and the decision ultimately rests on your particular lifestyle, your dog's requirements, and your long-term training objectives. The error is in a lack of consistency. Using pads can communicate to a puppy that it's permissible to eliminate inside the home. If you do use them, the pad must become the only allowed indoor location. If you are not supervising, a playful Cavalier might view the pad as a shreddable toy. A significant error is creating a surface preference, where the dog gets accustomed to the soft texture of the pad and then confuses this with rugs and carpets, or becomes reluctant to use outdoor grass. Their use is warranted when direct outdoor access is not feasible, for example, for residents in high-rise apartments or for owners who have mobility issues. Safety concerns, such as protecting a small unvaccinated puppy or avoiding harsh weather that a Cavalier may not tolerate well, also make them a logical option. In these many circumstances, pads are used as a primary training and management tool. The biggest mistake is failing to pick one strategy and adhere to it. Decide from the start whether you will train for outdoors only, pads only, or a hybrid, and then follow that plan consistently. Reversing your decision midstream is a setup for failure. Before moving on, let's answer some common questions. Is crate training necessary? What are its purpose and advantages? In an in-depth article, the American Kennel Club notes that the crate ranks high as a potty training tool because dogs are naturally clean and will avoid soiling their personal space. The Humane Society of the United States, which is now called the Humane World for Animals, also states that crate training is a valuable tool for house training. However, it is not a magical solution, must be used properly, and for some dogs, crates might not be a suitable choice. Crate training is broadly endorsed by breeders, trainers, and veterinarians. The entire principle of the crate relies on a dog's natural denning instinct. Dogs are inherently clean creatures that want to keep their sleeping area from being soiled. A crate acts as their den, so they will instinctively try very hard not to make a mess in it. This instinct teaches them to hold their bladder until they are let out to go to their designated bathroom area. However, the humane and proper use of a crate is essential. It must never be used as a cage for punishment, but rather as a safe management tool for times when you cannot provide direct supervision. Leaving a puppy in a crate for extended periods is cruel and will compel them to soil their den. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you must never leave your dog in the crate all day. Instead, arrange for a dog walker or a doggy daycare service. A common communication error is failing to select a consistent verbal prompt, such as "go potty." Use a short, clear command and stick with it. The mistake is using different phrases or tones. The prompt should always be delivered in a calm, encouraging voice. The biggest error is when everyone in the household uses different commands. This guarantees confusion. Just when you believe you've mastered house training, your puppy may start having accidents indoors again. This is known as the potty training regression period. It is a normal, though frustrating, part of a puppy's development. Regression is very rarely a sign of defiance. It is almost always an indication of a developmental, medical, environmental, or training-related issue. Regressions in Cavaliers often arise from specific triggers. The most frequent cause is the adolescent phase, usually between 6 and 12 months, when dogs test boundaries due to hormonal shifts. Environmental stress, like moving to a new home or a change in your daily schedule, can also throw off their routine. Another common trigger is an owner granting too much unsupervised freedom before the dog is fully trained. This creates the opportunity for mistakes, which can easily escalate into a regular habit. Lingering scents from prior accidents that were not cleaned with an enzymatic product can also lure them back. Lastly, a sudden regression might indicate an underlying medical issue, like a UTI. It is essential to consult a vet first to rule out health problems before tackling behavior. The initial and most crucial step when a regression happens is to consult a veterinarian to eliminate any potential medical causes. A urinary tract infection is a frequent culprit, causing pain and a heightened need to urinate. Other potential issues include bladder stones, diabetes, or kidney problems. Training inconsistency is another very common reason for regression. Owners may become complacent after a few accident-free weeks and relax their management and supervision too early. They might stop rewarding successful outdoor potty trips or extend the time between breaks beyond what the puppy can handle. This lack of consistency and the owner's unrealistic expectations can quickly cause a breakdown of learned habits. To handle a potty training regression, you must patiently go back to the basics. Increase the frequency of supervised leashed potty breaks and use your consistent verbal command. Reward successful outdoor trips with high-value treats and joyful praise while completely avoiding any punishment for accidents. Meticulously clean indoor messes with an enzymatic cleaner and temporarily reduce your dog's free access to the house. Address any underlying stress by keeping a predictable routine with plenty of exercise and mental engagement. This strategy helps reestablish good habits and can alleviate potential anxiety. Submissive and excitement urination are frequently misunderstood, and reacting improperly can significantly worsen the issue. You must understand that submissive and excitement urination are not potty training problems. This is not a conscious choice or a deliberate act of misbehavior. It is an involuntary physical reaction to an intense emotion. Submissive urination is a gesture of appeasement. It is a dog's way of communicating, "I am not a threat, you are the boss, please do not harm me." It is a leftover behavior from puppyhood, where puppies urinate to show respect to older dogs. It is effectively a white flag of surrender, prompted by perceived threats or intimidation. Excitement urination occurs when a dog, usually a puppy or young adult, gets so happy and stimulated that their still developing nervous system cannot control their bladder. The feeling of pure delight literally overpowers their body's capacity to hold it. To manage excitement or submissive urination, the most vital rule is to never punish the act, as this will only worsen your dog's fear and confusion. Instead, concentrate on prevention by keeping all greetings calm and low-key. When you interact, get down to their level and pet them under the chin or on their chest to seem less intimidating. An excellent tactic is to greet them outside, so any urination occurs in a suitable place. For a long-term solution, build your dog's confidence through positive reinforcement training and enriching activities. If an accident happens, clean it up quietly without any scolding to prevent adding stress. Finally, always use an enzymatic cleaner to completely remove odors and discourage remarking. For both submissive and excitement urination, most young dogs will grow out of the behavior as they mature, gain better bladder control, and become more confident. A general rule of thumb, often known as the month-to-hour ratio, is used to estimate how long a puppy can control its bladder. The American Kennel Club also references this formula. As per this guideline, a 2-month-old puppy can generally hold it for up to 2 hours, while a 4-month-old should be able to manage for about 4 hours. However, this differs between individual puppies, and the formula is no longer a useful guide once a puppy is older than 9 months. It is crucial to remember that this is just a general guideline, not a strict scientific rule, and for a small breed dog like a Cavalier, it is often an overestimation. Providing more frequent opportunities is always the safer and better strategy. While age is the main determinant of how long a dog can wait, several other elements are significant. A dog can hold their bladder longer at night because their body's metabolism slows down during sleep. High levels of activity, like energetic play, stimulate their system and will always demand more frequent potty trips. While you can use the month-to-hour formula as a rough guide for the first few months, it is always preferable to offer more frequent potty breaks rather than strictly following the ratio. Forcing a puppy to hold it for too long is unhealthy and can lead to bladder infections or other urinary tract problems. Potty training is often the most difficult part of raising a puppy because it is not a simple command like sit. It is a complicated, multifaceted process that demands you overcome their biology, establish clear communication with a creature that doesn't speak your language, and maintain almost perfect consistency. Potty training is so challenging because it goes against your puppy's basic biology and instincts. A puppy's natural inclination is to relieve themselves whenever the urge strikes, with no inherent concept of indoor versus outdoor rules. Potty training demands the owner's constant attention and 100% supervision. This involves actively monitoring your puppy at all times, using a crate, or keeping them on a leash tethered to you when you can't be fully attentive. The schedule is demanding, requiring trips outside after every nap, meal, and play session, which often disrupt your own daily life. This includes exhausting middle-of-the-night breaks to meet their needs. Moreover, you must meticulously clean every single accident with an enzymatic cleaner to completely remove scents that will draw them back to the same spot, which can be hard with tiny, easily missed puddles. In summary, potty training is difficult because it is a complex negotiation between a person and an animal, a struggle against instinct, and a marathon of consistency that challenges your patience at every step. But by understanding these difficulties, you can approach the task with more empathy and a better plan, confident that your intelligent Cavalier will get there with your patient and steady guidance. Positive reinforcement is the most successful, humane, and scientifically supported method for training any dog, and it is especially well suited for a clever and famously sensitive breed like the Cavalier. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior strongly recommends the sole use of reward-based training methods, as harsh, punishment-based techniques can inflict serious psychological damage. The American Kennel Club asserts that positive reinforcement should be the basis of all dog training, and the Humane Society of the United States views it as a powerful and effective approach. Think of it as your dog's paycheck. Just as you are more motivated to go to work if you receive payment for it, your dog is more motivated to go potty outside if they are paid for doing it. Physical punishment is cruel and counterproductive. Yelling and scolding will damage the bond between you and your dog, creating fear and anxiety. Cavaliers are exceptionally sensitive dogs that need a gentle guide, not a stern enforcer. They will react to harshness by becoming fearful, anxious, and shut down, which stops all learning. A bond built on trust and mutual respect is your most valuable training tool. Nighttime accidents happen when owners fail to create a dedicated, methodical plan that accommodates a puppy's physical limitations. The single most critical mistake is allowing access to food and water too close to bedtime. You must restrict access approximately 90 minutes to 2 hours before bed. Another error is keeping the energy high right before sleep. The last hour should be quiet and calm. Failing to use a crate is handicapping your nighttime training, and for the initial few weeks, the crate must be in your bedroom. If you can't hear them stir, you can't address their needs. It's a major mistake to expect a young puppy of 8 to 12 weeks old to hold its bladder for a full 8 hours. They lack the physical capacity. You must take them out during the night. You must adopt a proactive strategy. An 8-week-old Cavalier can only hold out for 2 to 3 hours. If you go to sleep at 11 p.m., failing to set an alarm for 1:30 or 2 a.m. is a fundamental error. This proactive approach stops accidents and reinforces that you dictate the schedule. If there is one single mistake that derails potty training more than any other, it's this. Many new owners believe they are supervising, but being in the same room is not the same as active 100% supervision. Their small size allows them to have quick, hidden accidents that you won't find until later. This unsupervised freedom is the main reason training fails, as it quietly teaches them that going inside is acceptable. When you aren't actively watching, you miss the key moments for training. You can't see the subtle tells they give before they go, like sniffing or circling. More importantly, you miss the chance to praise them for going outside, which is the most critical part of positive reinforcement. Effective supervision means having your eyes on the dog at all times. If you can't give them your full attention, they must be in a safe zone like a crate, playpen, or tethered to you. This prevents accidents and is the only way to build reliable, lifelong potty habits. A huge mistake is to misunderstand a Cavalier's unique intelligence. Owners often fall into one of two traps. They either assume the dog is not smart enough to learn, or they assume the dog is so smart it should just get it after a few tries. Both assumptions are flawed and lead to training failure. Cavaliers are highly intelligent, and unlike more independent breeds, they do live to please you. Their intelligence is sensitive, cooperative, and highly attuned to you. They are brilliant at reading your emotions. When it comes to potty training, this means they are smart enough to understand what you're asking and want to get it right, but they are also sensitive enough to shut down completely if you use harsh methods or get frustrated. This is why they will learn bad habits, like hiding, just as fast as good ones if they are scared. They can quickly learn that going potty on the rug is faster, warmer, and more comfortable than waiting to be taken outside in the cold or rain. Your mistake is not being consistent enough or rewarding enough. You cannot just expect them to do it. You must motivate them with extremely high-value rewards and, most importantly, a consistent, patient, and positive attitude. A major mistake is to forget what a Cavalier is and where it comes from. We often try to apply one-size-fits-all dog training rules to a breed that is completely unique. Their history as royal companions directly impacts their modern-day potty training behavior, and ignoring it is why you are struggling. First, this is a breed designed for indoor comfort, originating in cool, often damp England. They are not hardy working dogs and are hardwired to prefer comfort. When you try to force your Cavalier outside into weather they find miserable, like a driving rain or extreme heat, they won't focus on relieving themselves. they will only focus on getting back to you and the sofa. The instant they are back inside on your warm, dry carpet, they will finally relax enough to let go, and you're left cleaning up another mess. Second, they were bred exclusively for companionship, not for utility. A working dog was bred to complete a task. A Cavalier was bred to be a doted-on lap companion, often for royalty. They do have an incredibly strong innate eager-to-please drive. Their mindset is, what will make you happy? Your mistake is failing to communicate clearly what you want, or worse, making them anxious. You must convince their comfort-seeking, people-focused nature that going outside is a wonderful and highly rewarding deal for them. House training, or potty training, is one of the first and most fundamental challenges for any new puppy owner. The reality is, there is no universal timeline for potty training, as every dog is unique. It is a lengthy and intricate process that can be a major source of frustration. You should anticipate the full process taking anywhere from 4 to 6 months for your Cavalier to be reasonably dependable. However, reaching the stage where you can consider them fully trustworthy with minimal supervision could take closer to 8 months to a year. This timeline is not fixed. Even within the Cavalier breed, there are individual variations. Some are more sensitive, some are more bold, and some simply learn at a different speed. Pay close attention to your specific dog's personality and development. In conclusion, while you can expect to see major progress within the first few months, do not get discouraged if your Cavalier isn't perfectly trained by 6 months of age. Anticipate the setbacks of a regression phase and understand that truly reliable, I don't have to think about it potty training is a marathon, not a sprint, often requiring the better part of a year to become completely ingrained. Patience and consistency are the twin pillars of success. These two qualities are essential for training, and they apply to the owner, not the dog. Training a dog is a major commitment that demands time, especially with a breed that is so clever and has such a gentle personality. An individual puppy might need more time and repetition to learn a new skill. Although Cavaliers are smart, they do not learn things instantly. You will experience setbacks, especially with house training, but you should not get frustrated. Instead, stay patient and consistent with your training to achieve long-term success. Every person in the household must be on the same page with the rules and commands to avoid sending mixed signals to the puppy. Training is a developmental journey, a marathon, not a sprint. Every puppy is an individual who learns at their own pace. Patience and consistency are the absolute cornerstones of a successful training outcome. The time and effort you invest in raising a well-behaved dog will be returned to you many times over. Remember to acknowledge the small victories along the way. Training is an ongoing conversation, not a one-time test. Your hard work will be rewarded with a clever, loyal, and wonderfully behaved companion for many years to come.